Human survival is dependent on improving sustainability practices. One of the most important aspects of this is making a commitment to recycling. Mushrooms are masters of recycling in the forests. Decaying plant and animal matter are digested by fungus. Then the fungi, using a network of connections to trees through the root system, trade their food for sugar. Trees have an interest in producing fruit and leaves that are edible by the animals of the forest. When the animals eat, grow, and die, those nutrients are returned to the forest floor, and mushrooms help digest the material. The fruiting bodies are only visible part of the time, often after rainfall, and most of the fungal root system is thin and stringy, running miles long and connecting a network of trees. Trees can give other trees, often of their own species, resources through the fungal network. Humans need to make an adjustment to be more in harmony with the planet. Overpopulation, overconsumption of resources makes our behavior more like a virus than a mutual symbiotic relationship. Ginkgo trees were the first species of trees to develop broad leaves. This was a significant moment in evolutionary history because it fueled fish evolving into amphibians, to reptiles, to mammals. Humans are mammals that are primates and specifically apes. Therefore, plants are our mothers. They have given us food as a loan, which they hope to get back in the circle of life. If I were a tree, I'd like to be a sequoia. If I were a seed, I'd like to be buried next to the general Sherman tree. While a tree will distribute 5 million seeds in its lifetime, only one will grow up to be the parent tree's size. The chances are that low. Competition on the forest floor for sunlight makes it difficult to grow. When an elder tree dies, even the trees next to it are not ready for the new level of sunlight that they will receive. It takes them a few years to adjust their leaves, which are too sensitive in the immediate aftermath of the opening up of the canopy. Who wouldn't want to be a tall, strong tree, breathing in the forest air and restoring the uppermost foliage? Thousands of years ago, before humans populated the United States in a manner that led to bison being put on the endangered species list, the buffalo lived from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico and from California to Virginia. This is the original distribution of plains, wood, and Holocene bison. English colonizers first saw buffalo near the Potomac River on the east coast near Maryland. This leads one to believe that a long time ago the land was gold. The rivers flowed and trees grew to old age. Buffalo roamed and the bobcats hunted. The canopy of oaks could grow unhindered. In earlier times, human civilizations had better appreciation of nature. In Japan, the rise of Shintoism in prehistoric times saw the worshipping of plants and nature. The word kodama in Japanese means the spirits that inhabit the trees. People at various times and places have worshipped the trees. Animals and the earth all had spirits. Some woody perennial plants, like General Sherman, might be perceived as having old souls. This type of spirituality might resonate more with the concept of living with the wind. In fact, 3 million years ago, there used to be 60 million buffalo on the Great Plains. This was a time before the Mississippi River existed. Once I went on a road trip with a friend to South Dakota. We saw Mount Rushmore, the beautiful Needles Highway, visited the Badlands, the tourist stop called Waldrop, and the Black Hills. But my favorite place of all these stops was Custer State Park. Driving on the road, at one point a herd of buffalo took over the street. Looks like traffic was slow that day. Then it started to rain. Looking over the hills in the skyline, a flash of lightning and a loud clap of thunder struck the earth. In that moment, I felt a sense of timelessness. Like the buffalo, it had always existed there for millions of years, walking in the prairie, chewing grass slower than ever, and it was epic. What does the General Sherman tree think of the movement to protect the environment? Nothing. Trees don't have opinions. But perhaps we can do better to be like trees and grow mentally by having an open mind and learning more about how to be in tune with the earth. The heart, the brain, and the memories of the trees are all in their roots. They breathe through their base. Humans can also work on exercising more, eating healthier, and practicing more love and acceptance. The spirit of the buffalo is in the wind. When loggers cut down a tree, we should be there to plant 1,000 seeds. This is a picture of me at Sequoia National Forest. William Tecumseh Sherman, whose father named him after the chief of the Shawnees, was a general in the Civil War. When Ulysses S. Grant assumed the presidency in 1869, Sherman took over as commanding general of the army and worked in that role for 14 years. In 1890, naturalists designated the giant forest as part of the Sequoia National Park in California. Almost reaching 7,000 feet tall and being over 2,300 years old, the sequoia tree named General Sherman is the biggest tree in the world. I visited this tree in June of 2017. Do you ever feel like a spider? I was watching a documentary online the other day about spiders. I could only get through about half of it because it was too much. What are the similarities between the person, W.T. Sherman, and the tree? Both are epic figures of the United States of America. The average sequoia acorn holds about 200 seeds. The trees of the southern Sierra Nevada mountain range are threatened by wildfires and climate change. The more you know. An elephant eats over 300 pounds in 18 hours per day. Being a vegetarian is good for health, animal rights, and the environment. Plant proteins are more easily digested than animal proteins. Buy my book, American History: A Critical Analysis, available on Amazon for $14.99. Click the link in the description below.
Human survival needs Earth to be sustained. But if we don't recycle, this cannot be maintained. When we die and decompose, fungus eats what was decayed. Then it helps the trees grow because it makes the trade. The fungi's food flows while sugar comes its way. This was all done to show equality in this game. Now as a race, the humans must decide if we are a virus or we're unified. And we'll keep marching until we're satisfied, because we find alarming the use of pesticide. Plants are our mothers who have fed us just to lend, in the hope that in the end they get their fruit back again. If I were a seed, you could bury me next to the General Sherman tree. I'll grow tall and strong and breathe and help restore the canopy. The buffalo will run free from South Dakota to New York City, from Minnesota to northern Florida, from the Hudson to the Mississippi. Once upon a time, the land was gold. The rivers flowed fine and the trees grew old. The buffalo roamed and the bobcats hunted, and the canopy of oaks could grow unstunted. The spirit of the trees brought people to their knees. Tree spirit is a word you can use if you please to describe the old souls that inhabited the trees. Some things you only know if you're living in the breeze. From New York to South Dakota, the buffalo beat every quota. 3 million years ago, before time humans could even know, before the Mississippi flowed, 60 million buffalo roamed. Ask a sequoia named General Sherman, be like a tree, yearning and learning, stretch and grow roots and leaves. The buffalo's soul is in the breeze, in the struggle when they fell a tree. Amidst the rubble plant 1,000 seeds. If I were a seed you could bury me next to the General Sherman tree. I'll grow tall and strong and breathe and help restore the canopy. The buffalo will run free from South Dakota to New York City, from Minnesota to northern Florida, from the Hudson to the Mississippi. The mountains, the grass, and the river spirit, silently waiting, hoping you'll hear it. The earthquake tremor, the seismic shift of countless buffalo running swift. Thunder crashes and the heavens part to hear this land's beating heart. Human survival needs earth to be sustained. But if we don't recycle, this cannot be maintained.